So for the past month, I have been using my own Jira Service Desk for receiving your request, and I am quite happy that people have started reaching out to me on my service desk. So the whole idea was that if you need my help on anything, because I make a lot of videos, I write blogs on my website, and I share things, quite a lot of things online, and most of my work involves doing something with let us say Atlassian tools. If I'm talking about Atlassian tools on this channel, of course, on this channel my main focus is tools like Jira and how you can solve your problems. You could be an organization, you could be an individual, or maybe you're just looking for some help for your job or maybe for your career. So basically the whole idea was that if you think you need more than 2 minutes of my time, then instead of adding a comment, you can maybe raise a ticket for me, because when you raise a ticket for me, I have a way, I have a place where I can look for different requests that are coming in, and because my channel is all about doing things with Jira, so I think it makes sense that that I also use Jira for your requests. So everything is going well, and I'm quite happy that you guys are raising tickets for me, and I try my best to respond to your request, your tickets, whenever I get time. Now, that was not the topic of this video. The topic of this video was to improve your service desk. Now on my channel I do have videos talking about different things that you can do with Jira Service Desk. I should say Jira Service Management, but I thought on my own Jira Service Desk there was a small and a slight improvement that I was thinking of doing. Now when I looked at different questions that people were raising or asking for me, they were asking things about okay, I want to make a field hidden, or I want to show a field based on another field, and they of course ask me questions, but sometimes by looking at the question it is not always clear whether those questions are related to things that you want to do on the server version of Atlassian tools or the cloud version. Now the server version and the cloud version, if you talk about, let us say, Jira, there are things that are quite similar, but cloud version of Jira is now a different product, and the way you solve problems, and if you're doing something with apps, then definitely there are differences. So the answer can be different. For example, if you want to do something like adding dynamic behavior to your fields on the portal, or maybe within your Jira software or service management project, you can use behaviors in a script, but behaviors is not a feature on the cloud version. Hopefully in the near future or sometime in future we can also have behaviors on the cloud version of Jira, but not right now. So when you raise tickets for me, right now if you look at my request type, I have 2 fields or 3 fields, I guess. One is of course the summary, and the other one is description, and I think I also have an attachment. So I'm not worried too much about the attachment field, but I was thinking how I can capture this information from you guys or someone who is raising tickets for me. Now I can of course add drop downs, or maybe add a custom field where I can capture deployment, or whether you're asking this question for server or cloud. But as a Jira consultant, I was thinking maybe I can use components, because in Jira project you do have this feature of components, and the main purpose of component is to basically break down your project into various small modules. So if you're doing something within your project and you think your project has that potential where it can be broken up into smaller pieces, and each and every module, each and every part of your project if it is handled by a different, let us say, team or a specific lead, for example. So within components, you can have component leads, and there are a lot of wonderful things that you can do with components. For example, when you have these components set up, if your component lead, first of all, if you set up the lead, then you can also configure who will be your default assignee. So you can actually make your default assignee as someone who will always get the tickets, who will always become the assignee of those tickets or any issues in Jira when people are raising those issues or tickets for that component. So there are so many things that you can do with components. When you have components, you can also, of course, report on it. And when you are trying to generate reports, maybe you want to know how many tickets you received for a specific component in a month, for example. These things can be useful. So what I have done now on my own Jira Service Management project, I have set up components for different things that for different topics that will probably help me in understanding and responding to your questions in a better way. And although it is not exactly a sub-module, but in case of Jira Service Management project, these components are, or you can treat them as categories. So whenever you raise a ticket, by the way, this particular field, component field, is optional, so you don't have to fill up this field, but it will be good if you fill up this field. And I know what exactly you're looking for, and I'll probably answer your question that is applicable for the server version of let us say Jira, or the server or the cloud version of Jira. And apps, apart from the configurations and features that are more or less similar on server and cloud, not anymore, but they are still quite similar. But apps are definitely different on the cloud version. So if you ask me a question, and if I look at those components, I should be able to respond to you quickly without getting, right now, if I look at your question and if I'm not really sure if that question is on server or cloud, then I have to ask you, and you may get back to me on if you want to. I don't know. I don't know if you are. I don't really expect, or you can. In general, you cannot really expect your customers to be very responsive, because when people ask questions, let us say you're a customer and you are trying to get help. Let us say you buy a product or a service, and you go to the customer's website or your vendor's website as a customer to raise tickets to get help. You'll of course fill up the form, and if you don't provide enough information, then your vendor or service provider will probably get back to you. And by the time your service provider gets back to you, you will probably get a notification. You may or may not need help by that time. So what I'm trying to say is that as a service provider, if you are trying to set up, let us say, a portal or a Jira Service Management project, where of course it comes with a portal, don't create your request form too complicated, because your customers will then never fill up those big forms. But at the same time, also try to think of those important things, those important fields, or the information that you think will help you in resolving your customer requests, without, of course, too much interaction in the beginning. Of course, you can always go back to your customer and ask them more questions if you want, but if you can resolve their if you can resolve their problems, their issues, if you can help them or provide service to them, resolve their service request, for example, within just by just looking at the question or the ticket, and if the ticket has enough information, then your customers will be happy. So it is just a small way of also improving your customer satisfaction and by the way, there is a feature in Jira Service Management projects where you can also send polls, or not really a poll, but an email with an option to for your customers to basically rate your service. So if your customers, when it comes to service, when it comes to providing service, or these service desk projects or help desk, time is also very important, because the satisfaction level of your customers will be higher if they can get help from you quickly. And you also have to make sure that you are capturing enough information, but not too much information. It depends. If you create too many fields, your customers will probably get annoyed filling up those fields in the beginning, and you're trying to. It is in a way you might send this message to your customers that don't bother us if you want to reach out to us and fill up this big form. So it is also not very good. So keep your forms, request forms, simple. Summary and description in most cases works, but if you think, especially in my case, I think components will help. So if you now raise a ticket for me, of course you can go to the portal. I'll share the link in this video, or if you go to my website ravisagar.in, I do have a widget for me for you guys, and that widget is of course very helpful for me, because whenever you are looking at something on my website, maybe any page, or maybe if you're watching a video or reading a blog post, if you think you need further help from me, then you can reach out to me. You can raise a ticket straight away. It is in fact better than having a contact form. On my website, I always had this contact form. Of course, I do have an email. If you want to reach out to me, you can always email me. But when you send me an email, it goes to my inbox. And if the email, I read my emails, of course, every day. But if and of course I respond to those emails if I need to, if I have to. But if you're asking me a question and I am reading a question and I know the answer, I might not be able to respond to you immediately. I'll probably take some time, or I'll think about. Sometimes I need to do some further thinking. I may not know the answer. I will probably do some investigation before responding to you. But if it goes to my inbox, then it is a bit difficult to keep track of those requests. So that is why having a proper service desk project is really helpful. So I'm quite happy, of course, because I think it is just 1 month, and I was not really expecting people to. I've not really received hundreds of tickets so far, but I've received some, and I'm happy with that. And I think I'll probably now promote this service desk service management project of mine a bit more. I'll probably add I'm thinking of adding a comment in all of my old videos. Of course, I'll not do it manually. You can actually use Google Apps Script if you want to interact with YouTube using the APIs. So on my channel, I think I did talk about Google Apps Script, which is quite useful, because if I have to, let us say, update the description or do something in bulk for all of my videos, I can do that. So I'll probably add a comment in all of my videos, so in case people who are watching my old videos, they also know that okay, there is a way to reach out to Ravi by going to the service desk service management. I keep on saying service desk service management project. So that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you also learned something new today. Thank you very much.